guys, I'm Layla. Welcome to raidlore Stories. So today's lore story is going to be for Drexthar Bloodtwin. Now, he did have a lore story back when he first was introduced to the game. I believe he initially was a fragment champ for Tag Team Arena, right? 3v3. So since then, his lore story has gotten a bit of a change. I haven't checked it out, so let's check it out together now. Narbus and Kiro Drexthar were two knights of the free city of Kalmar. Twins by birth, they shared a deep and personal bond. They won their spurs together, fought their first battle side by side, and even married their sweethearts on the same day. Their harmonious kinship was often contrasted with the discord displayed by their cousins Aaron and Heron in Ithwi, who, although also twins, quickly became infamous throughout Kalmar for their bitter rivalry. Harmonious though the relationship between Narbus and Kiro was, the vagaries of their lives eventually brought about a rupture. Narbus was struck down with foul flesh, a festering and deadly plague that swept through southern Anhel and reached Kalmar. Almost half the city's population perished. As his brother lay in his deathbed, Kiro silently promised that he would not allow Narbus to pass so soon. In desperation, he sought out Kalmar's court sorcerer and demanded, at sword point, that he aid Narbus. The sorcerer did what he could, but refused to dabble in dark magics. Kiro, however, had no time for such self-restraint, whether his or anyone else's. The twins had recently helped in the defeat of a demon spawn infestation in Kalmar's northern marches. The demon spawn's leader had been taken prisoner and was still in the dungeons of Kalmar Castle. Kiro received dispensation to visit him and, in secret, pleaded for help in saving his brother. Sensing an opportunity to spread Siroth's corruption to the stricken mortal, the demon spawn was only too happy to teach Kiro the rites necessary to reach out for the kind of help Kalmar's sorcerer would not supply. Kiro performed the rites, and Siroth answered. He promised not only that Narbus would survive the foul flesh, but that he would live for at least as long as Kiro would, so Kiro would not have to experience the pain of life without his twin. In exchange, however, Kiro had to promise his soul to Siroth to serve him faithfully, if not now, then at the point of death. Ever willing to make sacrifices for his brother, Kiro accepted. Narbus did indeed recover, and life went on until the fateful battle of Anastrat. An orc drove its spear through Kiro's side, leaving him lingering on the point of death. Narbus was distraught. That night, alone in his tent, waiting fearfully for news from the physician, Narbus prayed to any being who would listen, pleading for his brother's life to be spared. Unfortunately for him, Siroth was the only one listening. Not knowing that his brother already made a secret pact with the god of shadow, Narbus begged him to let Kiro live. Narbus swore to serve the god when the end of his life came. It was not long before the day of reckoning arrived. A terrible fire took hold of Kiro's manse while his brother was visiting. While they succeeded in saving each other's families, the twins were trapped in the burning building. Realizing that there was no hope of escape, Kiro admitted what he had done to Narbus. With a horrid realization, Narbus said that he had done the same. Too late, they understood the trickery at play. As the flames rose to claim them, each prayed for the other to be spared, but Siroth only mocked them for their foolishness. He would have them both. As the fire burned their flesh, they were transmuted together into a single demonic being. In his amusement, Siroth melted their fire-scorched souls together, creating the creature which became known as Drexthar Bloodtwin. Transmuted into a being of flame, the twin consciousness of the bound brothers have long since melded into a single mind. Drexthar raged against his fate, but all of Siroth's toys submit to the god eventually. The former twins are now as much a warrior of the shadow god as any other demon spawn. Drexthar is now a hunter of mortals, the dreaded master of fire and ash, his fate used by Siroth as an example of the shadow god's power and cunning. He finds no solace that his bickering cousins, now known collectively as Inithri Bloodtwin, suffered a similar fate. At one forever with the flames that ended his mortal existence, Drexthar is a blistering force in the battlefield, his scorched plate armor and molten hot essence repelling the most determined of attacks. He is bound for eternity to follow Siroth's commands, and even if he was not, he likely still would, for he knows that the Shadow God will always have his way in the end. Wow, guys, that was a good story, I gotta say. I think that was one of the better stories we have read recently. I really like, how they end up calling it Bloodtwin like that. Now it makes sense. I mean, basically, they kind of gave these like blood pact oaths to Siroth, and then Siroth ended up melding them together and forming like one entity. So they also mentioned Inithi. So with that being said, this video is going to be here for Drexthar Bloodtwin. I will see if anything Bloodtwin also has a lore story. And if he does, you guys can look forward to that lore story coming up as kind of like a follow-up to this one. But I'd love to know what you guys think of this story. Drop me a comment down below, and thanks for watching.